Hey everyone, welcome back. In today's video, let's talk about something extremely important, sunscreens. Now, sunscreens are something that I do not want you to miss out on your skincare routine at all, and I'll tell you all of the reasons why and also share some of my favorite mid-range sunscreens with you. But before we do that, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out on any new videos, and you can also hit on the bell icon so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. And without any further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so before I jump on to showing you my favorite sunscreens, I'm going to talk a little bit about it. So sun or no sun, you need to apply sunscreen. Doesn't matter if you're inside your house or outside your house. It doesn't matter if it's sunny or cloudy, you need to apply sunscreen. If you have a light source in your house, which means if there's a window or like large doors that has glasses, then you need to apply sunscreen. And especially nowadays with active ingredients that we use like BHAs and glycolic acids, AHAs, or retinols, it's very important that we do shield and protect our skin, and sunscreen is that important step, which is the last step in your morning skincare routine that you should not really skip. And I read this somewhere that the best kind of sunscreen is the sunscreen that you will actually wear. So it doesn't matter which one it is. If you end up wearing it every single day, that's the best one for you. And I felt like that really resonated with me, and I'm sure it will with you guys as well. And before I also begin showing you my favorite ones, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the types of sunscreen there are. There are a lot of different types of sunscreen, and most commonly so are the chemical and physical ones. Physical sunscreens are the one that physically protect your skin by forming a barrier, and chemical ones are the ones that get absorbed in your skin and it dissipates the UVA and UVB lights into heat and it kind of passes it out. So the physical ones are usually made with inorganic minerals like titanium dioxide, zinc oxide, and then the chemical ones I can't really pronounce, so I'm just going to leave them right here. So these are usually the ingredients that are there. So the chemical ones are the ones that are getting absorbed, so they don't really have a lot of white cast, and the like inorganic mineral sunscreens are the ones that have a little bit of white cast. Products nowadays, even if they are the mineral sunscreens, they generally have really formulated themselves to minimize that white cast as much as possible, especially if it's like SPF 50, which is something that you guys should wear on an everyday basis. Like SPF 30 and onwards is like the best. So don't be afraid to use physical sunscreens because those are the best ones for sensitive skin. If you have like rosacea or anything, any heat triggered skin concern, then like anyone with like sensitive skin and anything, like for them physical sunscreens work really well. And then chemical sunscreens also work equally well depending on your skin type. I personally love using this one from Neutrogena. This is their Dry Touch Sunblock with an SPF of 50 plus with a broad spectrum UVA and UVB filter. And if you look at the ingredients, this has octocrylene, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, and that is a chemical sunscreen. That means this gets absorbed into my skin and and that's how it filters out the UVA and UVB lights. So UVA lights are the one that kind of really deeply penetrates in your skin, and it that is the one that triggers like tanning in your skin. And UVB light is the one that leads to sunburn, and that's the most like dangerous one because that's the one that leads to like redness and other dangerous diseases like skin cancer, etc. So you do need like broad spectrum protection when it comes to sunscreen. right? So this is the one that I have used like for the longest time. I love how lightweight it is. It feels really clean. This does not really have that white cast, so I love using this as like the last step of my skincare, and I also love to use this before I move on to doing my makeup. Now you need to apply your sunscreen 15 to 20 minutes before you kind of have any kind of sun exposure. That's because that's the amount of time it takes the sunscreen to kind of settle in and be ready for it to start repelling the sun rays. And you're also supposed to take a nice generous amount of sunscreen. I mean, you can look up a lot of like dermatologists specifying how much you need to apply, but it's usually like at least 1 finger length full. I mean, that's the kind of way I like to apply it, because that's just easy, because I don't really have a teaspoon in my bathroom, and people usually specify like amount of sunscreen by the amount of teaspoons, and that's very confusing for me. So I just generally like to like take 1 finger length full of sunscreen and apply it on all exposed areas. So on my face, ears, neck, arm, feet, whatever is exposed, back, any exposed skin needs sun protection. And it's also advisable to reapply your sunscreen, because that's when you're going to get the optimum SPF coverage that is mentioned in the packaging. Right, alright, so this is the first one that I absolutely love. I have oily to combination skin, so this works very well for me. I love the light texture. And then I also have this physical sunscreen, which I really like. This is from LA Shield, and this is their mineral sunscreen gel, which has an SPF of 50 and has a broad spectrum coverage of both UVA and UVB. Despite being a physical sunscreen, which means the active ingredient is zinc oxide and titanium dioxide, this does not really have that. It does have a little bit of a white cast, but it's like not too much, and it's also great for sensitive skin. I love using this when I have a lot of flares on my face, especially like when I'm PMSing, or if my skin is feeling very sensitive. This works very well, and this is again for like all skin types. It has like a moisture boost formula, so it does not really feel very dry, but it's also not very greasy. The formula of this is really nice. I quite like using this. The next one is from Lotus Herbals. I have 2 of them, one SPF 50 and one SPF 70. The SPF 50 is for normal to oily skin, and I wanted to share this one because I love the formula of this. And for those of you who absolutely hate the texture of normal sunscreen, and that's the reason that you don't like applying sunscreen, then you can check this out. It has a gel-like consistency. It's absolutely light. It just blends and becomes water-like, and it's very easily absorbed. And this is actually made with one of those chemicals which has a very difficult name, bis-benzotriazolyl tetramethyl-butyl phenol, which acts both as a chemical and physical sunscreen. This is one of those chemicals, synthetic chemicals, that is like the cusp of both. So it gets absorbed a little bit, and it also bounces off rays, so you get like both, like the best of both the worlds with this. And this is an SPF of 50, and this also sits really matte on the skin. And then we have this one, which is SPF 70. This is their daily multifunction sunblock, and again, I'm very surprised with how lightweight, non-sticky, non-greasy this is, which is why I wanted to include it in this video. And also this one is tinted, so for those of you who do not like to wear a lot of makeup but still want a little bit of coverage, then this works out really well. I thought that this would end up being extremely whitish because of the tint, but the tint does like kind of dissipate on the skin really well, and it just gives it a slight blurring effect. It's almost like a BB cream with a really high SPF, so I thought this was pretty cool. Next, I have this one from Nivea. This is their Protect and Moisturizing Sun and Collagen Protection with SPF 50+, and I would really recommend this for anyone with dry skin. I feel like the formulation is so nice and moisturizing. It's very gentle, soft, and it just glides onto your skin and it sits very well. So like for example, if you use this one from Lotus, which is the UV Screen Matte Gel, and if you have dry skin, then you're not really going to enjoy it because this has a very light texture, which might not be enough for you if you have very dry skin. And I want you to own a sunscreen that you will actually end up using every single day. And I feel like for dry skin type, this feels very soothing and calming on the skin. Now this one is a physical sunscreen. It has titanium dioxide nano, which means that these are nanoparticles, which means that the white cast isn't as much, right? So it kind of sits really nicely on your skin too. And I just like the formula of this one. I feel like it's very soothing. It's one of the best sunscreens that I have tried, and I like using this all over my body because despite my face being very oily, the rest of my body is extremely dry. Lastly, I have this one from Kaya, and I chose this because I really like the formulation of it. It has a really nice texture. This is Kaya Sun Defense Daily Use Sunscreen with an SPF of 30. Again, this is a non-greasy formula that spreads really well and also suitable for all skin types. And this one is also made with one of those chemicals which is like a cusp of both the chemical and physical. And then I do see titanium dioxide quite far down in the ingredient list as well. And this is also formulated with niacinamide, and like I mentioned, I really like the formulation of this. I think it's a beautiful non-greasy formula that spreads and sits on your skin really well. And with sunscreen, it's very important, again, like any other skincare products, it's very important that you patch test. You can just patch test a little bit right here, apply it, let it be for like 24 hours and see if there's any reaction. You can apply it right here and see if it's getting irritated, if it's inflamed, if it's itchy. Then if any of those symptoms, if they like persist, then please stop using it, and then just never touch it ever again. But this way you will know for sure if it works for you or not. And if it does, then it's amazing, and I want you to wear that every single day. And in the evening, you can use something like a micellar water, especially with like physical sunscreen. It's very important that you break it all down at the end of the day. So you can just double cleanse with like micellar water or a cleansing balm and remove all of the sunscreen before you move on to your nighttime skincare routine. Alright, so that was a fairly, I didn't want this video to be really long, but I did want this to be very descriptive and helpful. So I really hope that this was, and I really want you guys to start wearing sunscreen, okay? It's a plea. And let me know if you guys actually do wear sunscreen on an everyday basis and do learn it the hard way in the comments down below. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really hope this was helpful. Please subscribe for more videos, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.